Hey everyone, this is Ifrit from server 1018. Today I'm going to talk about Soldier Ant Hatch Day in server versus server and how to optimize the points you can get for this event. So first we're going to look at how you score points for Soldier Ant Hatch Day. We're going to go to the strongest war zone, click on the little eye, go to day 6, click re-choose, and then expand the Hatch Soldier Ant section. You get points initially by hatching soldier ants tier 1 through tier 10. The higher the level soldier ant, the more points you get. On our server right now, a lot of players on either tier 6 or tier 7 soldier ant. It doesn't matter if it's shooter, carrier, or guardian, they are all worth the same. However, for the higher level tiers, you get more and more points. So for example, if you were looking at hatching tier 1 carriers because you're a shooter main and you have tier 7 shooters, you'll get significantly more points by hatching those shooters than you will the carriers. Just as an example, tier 1 soldier ants only give you 10 points where tier 7 gets you 200, so they're 20 times more valuable to hatch a tier 7. So always try to hatch the highest level soldier ant that you possibly can to get the most amount of points. The second way to get more points in Soldier Ant Hatch Day is to enhance soldier ants. You can enhance starting at tier 4 and you can enhance all the way up to tier 10 soldier ants. You can see that the point range goes from 35 for a tier 4 up to 200 points for a tier 10. So you can quickly see that, for example, with a tier 7 soldier ant, if you hatch it, you get 200 points. However, if you enhance it, you only get 100 points. For those that don't know, let's talk a little bit about what enhancing a soldier ant is. So we're going to back out of this. We're going to go into my base and we're going to look at our troop camp. And we are going to open that up. And you can see the troop camp that I have here. So you can see that I have two different types of tier 7 carrier ant. The normal ones are on the top left and the enhanced ones have this little DNA symbol in the top right. Those are the enhanced ants. So when you want to enhance a soldier ant, you simply click on it in the troop camp, and in the bottom left you will see an ant head with a little star above it. If you click this, you can see what enhancing the soldier ant does. So for the tier 7 carrier ant, the attack increases from 61 to 67 per soldier ant. The defense increases from 34 to 36. The march speed and the health stay the same. So really, in effect, enhancing the soldier ant gives you around a 10% increase to your attack and a, say, 4 to 5% increase in your defense. This could be different between carrier, shooter, guardian, or depending on the tier level of ant. But if you just click on the soldier ant in the troop camp and that symbol with the ant head with the star, you can see what the benefits would be. So why this is important is if I were in combat and our special ants and our other stats were on a pretty level playing field, if I have boosted tier 7s and they do not, my ants will be a decent amount stronger because of the additional attack and additional defense that they have. This also will have an effect on the special ants because when they trigger their skills, that is related to the number of soldier ants that you have and the strength or attack rating of those soldier ants as well. So by enhancing them, you're also making the abilities of your special ants even more powerful. All right, we're going to back out and go back to the strongest war zone and see the other ways that we can score points for Soldier Ant Hatch Day. So after enhancing ants, you can see the mutate one soldier ant with a difference of one tier, of at least one tier. And this is the same thing as enhancing an ant in the fact that you would go to the troop camp, you would click on the ant that you want to mutate, and what mutating is taking a, say, tier 5 carrier that I might have in my troop camp and turning it into the highest level tier for me, which would be tier 7. So for every soldier ant I do that with, I would get 25 points for increasing that level up at least 1 tier. Bioessence, I'm not going to discuss in this video. That's something that happens much later with a different event called Alliance Expedition, and I will make a video at that point when the event is coming out to explain how Alliance Expedition works. Don't worry about it for now. You can also get points by getting genes, consuming genes, and by using genetic factors to increase your genes levels. I won't go into too much detail there because it's not a real major way to get server versus server points in this event. That really will come from hatching soldier ants, but it is another way that you can score points in this event. Additionally, what I want to mention is some tips that I recommend to get the most value for your soldier ants on Soldier Ant Hatch Day. The first is you can see that the event is about to start for us in 38 minutes, and my carrier ant nest has ants that are hatching in just under an hour, so those will be ready to collect for me when server versus server starts. Additionally, my shooter ant nest has soldier ants that are ready to collect. I'm not going to collect them yet because I want to wait until right when server versus server starts and then collect them to start getting some points. My troop camp also has several thousand T7 carriers that are being enhanced, and I will collect those also at the start of SVS. And I'll of course use a raspberry to get even more points right at the beginning of the event. Additionally, something that I recommend doing for Soldier Ant Hatch Day is paying very close attention to the colony actions, because there are 2 colony actions that are back to back that are very beneficial to do, and those occur at 5 UTC and 6 UTC of the event. In those colony actions, we're not going to pay attention to the building power here, but what you can see is you get points for hatching soldier ants. This is the same for the colony action that happens right after at 6 hours after UTC. Only the top ability is evolution power. Again, we're not going to pay attention to that because we're only focused on hatching soldier ants. So one tip that I like to recommend is to use a raspberry or an advanced raspberry at, in this example, we'll say 5 hours and 45 minutes after UTC, and I will speed up hatching the highest level soldier ant that I have. So for me, that would be tier 7 carriers, and I will hatch them to get either 2 or 3 shells in the colony action. Then I will stop. I will then wait until 6 hours and 5 minutes after UTC when the next colony action starts, and I will do that same thing again where I speed up to get either 2 or 3 colony action shells. At the same time, that raspberry is still effective because it lasts 30 minutes, so I can get up to 6 colony action shells in a 30-minute window, and at the same time, every time I'm hatching, I'm contributing to the server versus server score. So that's another really good trick to maximize colony actions and server versus server points. These colony actions will happen 3 times on this day, so it's at 5 and 6 UTC, 13 and 14 UTC, and 21 and 22 UTC. The other thing I want to point out is there are some ways to speed up how fast you hatch. So if you were to go into your evolutions, the basic military section, you can see on the top row it says fast growth 1 for the 3 different ant types. If I click on my carrier, it says increase carrier ant hatch speed. Since I have it maxed at 10 levels, it increases my hatch speed by 15%, which is a really big benefit because when you're trying to hatch a lot of soldier ants, one of the limitations you will have is your speed ups. So this will allow my speed ups to last a lot longer because I'll need a lot less of them. Additionally, there is a second row of fast growth 2. And if I click on the carrier, this one at max level will give up to 35% increased hatch speed and also help me with my speed ups. You can also get extra cocoons. Cocoons are very critical for being able to hatch more ants and to hatch ants faster. So this extra cocoon will help with that, and I'll just go to the cocoon section of my base to show you the benefits that they provide. So if I go here, I will go to details on this level 16 cocoon. If you go to more info, you can see the breakdown of each level of cocoon and how much it contributes to an increase in your hatch speed and an increase in the hatch cap, so the number of soldier ants you can hatch every time you go to hatch ants. Currently, mine is at level 16. I tried before this event to get them to at least level 16 for all of the cocoons because it gave plus 4% hatch speed bonus and 175 extra ants hatched for each cocoon. I could have gone to level 17 or 18 to get even further hatch speed, but I'm going to save that for the next build day to give me some SVS points on that day. And lastly, I want to talk about special ants. So if you go to your special ants in the develop section, there are some ants that will help you with hatch speed as well. So we're going to look specifically for the carrier ant. There's a blue strobe ant, which you can get in several different events, and this ant helps with carrier ant hatch speed. You can see here it's skill 2. Initially only gives a 1.5% increase to hatch speed, but will max at 15% faster hatch speed. Its other skills will allow you to hatch more ants by increasing the hatch cap or by instantly gaining carrier ants. So if I were to maximize skill 4 on this ant, once a day I could click to activate the skill and I would get 500 carrier ants of the highest type I have unlocked, which right now is tier 7, so I get 500 carrier ants per day. Personally, I don't want to spend the spores on this right now because I would rather use it for my pro march, but it is something that would be nice to unlock down the road. But initially, just getting that hatch speed will be very beneficial early on in the game, so I have already started to unlock that, and I may even upgrade it a couple more times since I'm currently in special ant day to get some SVS points there and also set me up to have a more successful soldier ant hatch day. And that's all we have today on the soldier ant hatch event. If there are any questions, please feel free to comment below and I'll do my best to support any players that need more information.